Hi there. So something I never talk about on this channel, very rarely, is energy work. And the idea that I even do energy work or hypnotherapy, people are like, what, you do? And it's because I don't talk about it. You know why? Because my life is, or my business, I should say, is revolved around coaching people in business. And that's a lot of marketing and it's a lot of mindset. And yeah, it has to do with the energetics, but that's kind of, that happens within the scope of the coaching practice. And I'm a part-time professor. So obviously that, coupled with my passion and obsession with research and writing books, I'm currently on my 26th book, which I'm currently writing right now. I don't have a lot of time for single sessions, but I just had one and I thought, what a great idea, maybe, to kind of show that side of myself. Now, again, I don't do single sessions a lot. It's as time allows. And it's an investment for both you and me. But I thought I would share with you how I do them, what I do, so that you can understand. And I want to point out, first of all, the idea of science. I always speak from science, but I want to be really crystal clear in that all things that are effective are not scientifically blessed. And, you know, I kind of am in the middle of science and metaphysics. I call myself a practical mystic, right? Because if it works, I'm going to use it. And there are so many things now that we know that we didn't used to know, especially because of technology and how it's changing. But we always have known for years that frequencies heal. We know I'm a big practitioner of radionics. And in this video, I'm not even talking about radionics. That's what I call my supreme level. That's what I use on my high-end business coaching clients. I don't do single sessions on that. Kind of, but watch and I'll explain. So here's how I do a single session, an energy healing and reprogramming. The first thing I do is I find out the person's name, date of birth, and location of birth. And then I put it, this is my surrogate energy work body. This is the person that I do the work on, but it would be you. It would have your name, your birth date, and your place of birth. And I just put the person's address down there too, just so I'm really crystal clear on who they are. So you notice I have all the chakras here because chakras are the energy center of the body. And then what I do is I get into a very meditative state because I cannot connect to my superconscious. And I don't want any of this to sound airy-fairy or overly esoteric. I connect with a level of consciousness that is not this level of consciousness I'm talking to you right now. So I consider it my superconscious mind. It could be the quantum field, it could be the Akashic records. I don't know, but I just know that it's not this level of consciousness. So I go into that level of consciousness and I use this extremely very cool, big, what is the word? Pendulum. I know this, I only have 20 of them, right? I use my pendulum and it's magnetic. And from that state of mind, I'm able to go over each of the chakras, and it's not me. It's the power of my subconscious mind. It's the power of the universe that comes through that shows me where there's blocks or scattered energy. And this is no more realistic than back in the day. How do you think that they found water, underground water, right? It's all through the water witches. That's dowsing. This is dowsing. And so the good thing about dowsing is I can use it to detect things, but I can also use it to clear things. And we can use it to heal things. Full disclosure, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional. And I do not give medical advice. I want to be clear on that one. So then what I do after I've picked up whatever I'm picking up and after I've cleared whatever I'm clearing, now comes the science of frequency. So I have an AO scanner and I can also scan the person on that. And that's an AO scanner, which I sell on my website, by the way, is a scanner that allows me to pick up frequencies. And I can also kind of validate what I feel for my pendulum work. If I want to like validate it, I can use that. But one of the things that I've been doing, and I started doing it about 2 years ago, is I have frequencies. I have like many, many frequencies. And I run them through a coil, and then I put that on this body. Crazy as it sounds. And this is plugged into my computer, so I don't hear it, because a lot of the healing frequencies are, they can be really loud and annoying. But I run it through the 𝒅𝒂𝒂𝒂, okay? That's before we even have our session. Oh, and I do want to give a shout out to my friend Art, who I have recently started using his frequencies, PEMF healing. And if you want to look it up, absolutely, I'll put a link in below this video, because he even has a free version. There's different ways that you can work with his frequencies, but he has the most robust, complete library that I have come across. Not only that, but the efficacy of his work and his research, and he's brilliant. I just can't tell you how brilliant he is. I pick his brain all the time when it comes to frequency stuff. So frequency heals, you guys. Frequency heals, frequency heals. And if you're like, Tamara, how can you take a piece of laminated cardboard and put a copper coil on it and expect me to believe anything's going to happen? It's because whoever I'm working with is being the surrogate. In radionics, all we need is your name on a piece of paper, right? It's quantum entanglement. It's non-locality. Whatever you want to look at it, trust me, it works, okay? Now, after that happens, that's before our session. Then we have our session, and I go over with you kind of what I came up with and where I did some clearing, and you tell me your challenges, and we look at your end result that you want to create, and we look at what's in the way of your end result, and I try to help you go from a place of egoic, scarcity, survival, to what you want to create. Because we live in two boxes at all times. We're either in the box of problems or the box of possibility. And my job, even coaching my real estate agents and my entrepreneurs, my job is to always help them tap into their super conscious mind, where all the answers to all the questions always are. In between the time they get from where they are now to where they want to be, I'm acting as a surrogate. I'm the in-between, because I can connect that way, and I can connect with them, and I can help them learn to connect to their own higher power. So they don't need me to do it, right? But everybody needs a good coach, so let's not forget that. Anyway, once we get to that point, then the last 15 to 20 minutes, I take you into either a visualization, a meta creation, or a flat out hypnotherapy session. It's about 15 to 20 minutes. And I record that part, because this is the thing. When I started doing hypnotherapy 28 years ago, people had to come every week if they wanted to get the results, right? Because the neural pathways that are in place, those limiting beliefs, those ideas that this is how it is, I'm not good enough, whatever the loop that's going around and around, you can't have one session. I don't care what anybody says. You can't have one session and have that neural network completely disappear. I'm not saying I do not believe, because I have witnessed spontaneous healings. This is a whole different conversation. We're talking about changing our neural networks, which, by the way, we can couple that with using frequencies repetitively, and that will also, can make a huge difference depending on what you're trying to change, what you're trying to improve. But that recording that I send you is something that you want to listen to every day for, I say, a month. They say 21 to 28 days, whatever. But if you do that, and it's important that you don't just listen to it and fall asleep. You want to listen to it as an active participant in a very relaxed state. And I'm here to tell you that isn't easy, because if everyone could just get to the alpha level, which is a relaxed body, a relaxed mind, but an alert state, if everyone could do that easily, they wouldn't have any problems, right? Because it would be all possibility. But when we're in the busy beta brainwave, when our brain is in that frequency, all we see everywhere we look are circumstances and problems and challenges and obstacles, which fills us with fear, which puts us in survival mode and makes us live in scare city. Not a good place to live, right? So the goal here is to get your body and your brain and your imagination into the creative structure. What do you want to create in your life? What is the end result that you want? Let's work on that. And the things that you think are in the way that are holding you back, a big part of what's holding them in place is your thoughts that they're holding you back. Okay, I know that was a lot, but that is what a session with me is like if you do a single session. And again, I'm very limited in how often I offer them. I will also put a link below. They are an investment. Sometimes I have sales and give them for what I consider to be a super good rate, but they're not, they're not super cheap, right? You have to invest in things like this. This is your life, right? This is not a dress rehearsal. This is your life. So anyway, I hope you found that somewhat interesting, and I would love to serve you if that resonates with you, and have a beautiful day. Thanks for watching.